After the overachieving bottle job of last season and £71 million to spend, we now expect to be challenging across all competitions, but where'd you strengthen? We're honestly looking no further than Jude Bellingham, but we're slightly overloaded in central midfield, so the sensible option is to look elsewhere. And elsewhere we looked at centre-back Antonio Silva, meeting his £40 million release clause. And it's small gains, but Ilya Meslier is taller and slightly better than Gavin Bazunu, though we moved for him. £37.5 million, potentially rising to £42.5 million after appearances. Arsenal are in for Marcus Leonardo, and after a promise earlier to accept £95 million, my hands were tied and we had to let him go. And then now after Linus Gector, who was so far down the pecking order, he was out on loan last season, £42.5 million. And for all you maths wizards, that leaves us with about £120 million to spend. You know what that means. Dortmund accepted £90 million and Jude wants to be our highest earner. Naturally, no worries Jude, get that contract signed. And here he is, marquee signing, record-breaking fee of £90 million. Welcome to Southampton. With £168 million spent over 3 signings, that shows our intent. Now let's go and win this league, shall we? The season is upon us and here come the player odds. Top goal scorer has 3 of our strikers and Marcus Leonardo, who was with us until 2 minutes ago. Told you we were all set going forward. Speaking of going forward, 3 more of our attacking threats are in the top 3 young players. It's a bright future here at Southampton, although the media disagree. 9th. Time to go prove them wrong. And the season began with a 2-0 win against Brentford, with Han moving into the advanced forward role and opening the scoring, before Fabian Rieder made it 2 after having the chance to assist 3 or 4 players. He cut back inside and scored himself. And then with our squad all set for the season, Chelsea came in and disrupted things by offering £82 million for Rooney Bargi, which happened to be his release clause. If he wants to go, I won't lose any sleep. £70 million profit, and his second choice to Tegu Suyana. And we've got Thomas Rios, who looks like a ready-made replacement. So, yeah, bye Rooney. We stroll past Luton 2-0 before our first real test of the season, Manchester City. And it started poorly, with City going ahead through a near-post effort. £42.5 million well spent on Meslier, eh? Not to worry though, as Han stole in to make it 1-1 just after half-time before Kefren Turam found himself in space and bent a beautiful effort into the corner. That wasn't the end of the drama though, as some poor defending from Antonio Silva allowed Kvaratskhelia in to equalise. However, we showed further resolve, with Han finding Suyana to make it 3-2, before Han found himself in the right place at the right time to score his second and our 4th. We comfortably dispatched of Bournemouth 5-0, and after 4 games we're top of the table. And up next, it's Arsenal, who've had an awful start, languishing in 16th. And we lost 3-1. An own goal for £90 million man Jude Bellingham. His first goal for the club, of sorts. This season's signings have been a bit dismal, haven't they? The Champions League fixtures were drawn and I feel we got absolutely shafted here. Leipzig, Barcelona, PSG and Juventus, not to mention Anderlecht, Lazio, Galatasaray and Lyon, all very tough games. We got back to winning ways in the league with a 5-0 win against Watford, Big Lorenzo with a hat-trick. We started our Champions League campaign in horrific fashion, going behind to Leipzig inside 30 seconds. We hit back through a Benny Sesko tap-in before Arda Güler put one on the plate for Evan Ferguson. The lead lasted all of 2 minutes as Leipzig capitalised on some woeful defending to equalise. The defending got even worse at the start of the second half if you even thought that was possible. However, in a back and forth game it ended 3-3 with Rooney Bargi's replacement Thomas Rios bagging the equaliser and saving us a point. And against Sheffield United, Hernan Coelho really announced himself with a beautiful hat-trick, scoring 2 in the space of 2 minutes in the first half before completing his hat-trick in the second half with a well-taken finish in a resounding 4-0 win. We then absolutely demolished Fleetwood 8-1 in the Carabao Cup before turning our attention back to the league and Everton, where we won comfortably once again. This time it was 4-1 with another goal from Coelho. After 8 games we're topped by 4 points, scoring plenty, and new man Meslier has 5 clean sheets in 8 games. Step aside Liverpool, we're not bottling it this season. Hernan Coelho won Player and Young Player of the Month for September, with us having a whitewash in the Young Player of the Month, taking all 3 positions, and to round it off for the Saints, I won Manager of the Month. We ran out 3-0 winners against Spurs with another hat-trick from Lorenzo Luca. That's his second of the season. And in the Under-21 Football of the Year awards, Han took top spot with Jayhuahua coming runner-up. And we sort of rounded off the top 3 with Rooney Bargi. Did say sort of. Then against Leicester, Lorenzo Luca continued his goal scoring form with another hat-trick. That's back-to-back games he scored a hat-trick, and oh did we need it. Coming from behind twice in a 3-2 win. Their blistering form continued with victories against Palace in the league and Brentford in the Carabao Cup, before our momentum was halted by Nottingham Forest, salvaging a draw in the 90th minute. We were lucky not to lose, and despite dropping 2 points, we're actually 6 clear at the top of the league. Oh, and for anyone wondering, Forest are bottom. The Champions League fortunes were a different story, however. After the 3-3 against Leipzig, we lost 1-0 to Barcelona and then 2-1 to Lazio. 1 point from 3 games. We're genuinely in danger of not qualifying. But we did get a win, and an emphatic one at that, scoring 7 past the hapless Galatasaray. These goals may come in very handy if qualification comes down to goal difference. After a whole lot of moaning and whinging, out of favour Ethan Ampadu finally agreed to go to Saudi Arabia for £13.75 million. Now Maxence Lacroix wants to leave due to not playing enough. Let us get him gone before he disrupts the dynamics then. He's getting above his station, he isn't as good as he thinks he is. I think it's just a good idea to sell rather than appease. So we accepted £43.5 million just to get him out the door. We're financially stable and a harmonious squad dynamic is crucial going forward. And an old friend, Alex Scott, is climbing that best player of the world ranking. He's now in 6th. Still think we're better off with a 200 million though. And it was back-to-back 2-1s, a 2-1 win against Newcastle and a 2-1 defeat to Villa. But we continued our charge up the Champions League table with a 4-2 win against Juve, a couple of lovely goals in this one from Jude Bellingham and Benjamin Sesko. Next in the league it was Liverpool, and Thuram curled in a glorious strike early on. Liverpool equalised, but we struck twice just before half time, leaving them reeling. We completed the scoring in the second half, running out 4-2 winners. November Player of the Month and Young Player of the Month was again a double sweep for us, this time Jayhuahua after Quello won it previously. After dispatching of Leeds 4-1, we took stock of the season so far, 8 points clear at the top of the table, but we've bottled it from here before. But with Luca top scorer, Thuram top assister, things just feel a little different. Is this our year? And we scored 4 again, this time against West Ham in another 4-2 win. And PSG visited St Mary's, a very tough game indeed, or at least I thought. We absolutely blew them back to France. It was 3-0 inside 20 minutes, 4 inside half an hour, 5 by half time, and it ended up 6-1. Then there was a 1-0 loss to Chelsea in the league, conceding from their only shot on target. And for those of you with bad youth intake preview on your bingo cards, get your dabbers out, as this year's preview is below average. And we're at the Carabao Cup, losing to Arsenal and a brace from Marcus Leonardo. Then it was back-to-back games against United in the league. First we won 2-1, then in the reverse, we won 3-0. Against Everton it was another 3-0, and a fantastic performance from Thomas Rios, with a lovely solo goal and also getting an assist. He's really stepping up after the enforced sale of Rooney Bargi. And in the Jayhuahua vs Han battle for individual awards and accolades, Jayhuahua added another notch to his crown as he was announced as the European Golden Boy. More drop points against relegation threatened teams as we drew 1-1 with Sheffield United. We're now just 3 points clear in the league, and considering last season's bottle job, I'm getting a little bit nervous. However, with the transfer window open and lots of money to spend, I just couldn't help myself. We delved into the market, purchasing Adolfo Murillo, a great fullback option, which adds great depth for us in that position. We then kept our cup dreams alive as we beat Ipswich 5-0 before Dortmund, having just sold Murillo to us, needed a fullback and they came in for Elias Gillette. And he was moving down the pecking order, so £43 million was certainly a bid we just couldn't turn down. Against Leicester we started shakily, coming in at half-time 1-0 down. The half-time team talk galvanised the team and we ran out 4-1 winners. It wasn't as comfortable as it sounds though, as 2 of those goals came in stoppage time. We continued our good form in the Champions League, beating Lyon 2-1, before coming back to the Premier League and dropping points against Spurs in a 1-1 draw. We finished the Champions League phase in 6th. After a 5-2 victory against Anderlecht, I'm very happy with that finish, considering we had a pretty abysmal start. In an incredibly one-sided game against Luton, we thankfully managed to come back from a goal down to win 2-1. Look at them stats. We continued our march through the FA Cup, beating Charlton 3-0, and against Brentford we got the points, but not for the lack of trying to throw it away. After going ahead early, Brentford pegged us back. We then scored a very untidy and scrappy goal to go back ahead before Ivan Toney equalised with this audacious chip. Benny Sesko kept us firmly in the driving seat for the league as he rifled home in the 91st minute. Unfortunately, we had no such luck against Chelsea as we lost 2-1. Then our FA Cup dreams shattered as we lost 3-1 to Aston Villa. We then lost to Leeds 3-2, and with that, it's happened again. We're off the top of the table, admittedly only by a point, and we do have a game in hand, but I'm getting awful deja vu from last season. In the Champions League round of 16, we drew 0-0 away at Porto before sneaking the home leg 1-0. Not utterly convincing, but a win is a win. And in the league, we had the season-defining game against Liverpool. The winner of this is in pole position for the title. And it's games like these you need the big money signings to step up. Unfortunately, Mesley had a howler early on, gifting Liverpool the lead. We managed to pull ourselves level and kept things tight, both sides tactically jockeying as the game rumbled on, and Kefren Turam then put us ahead. Then big money signing Jude Bellingham scored a screamer, making it 3. As Liverpool chased the game, we found space and openings, scoring 2 more in a 5-1 win. That looked far more emphatic than it really was. But that's us in pole position, with a game in hand. However, ourselves and Liverpool need to keep one eye on Chelsea breathing down on X. But next was our game in hand against West Ham, and we capitalised in the way you'd expect, with a dismal 0-0 draw. And it continues to get worse as we're advised our below average youth intake was an overestimation, as it came through as poor. Fortune turned back around in our favour with a much needed 3 points against Newcastle with a 4-1 win. We scored 4 goals yet again as we battered Forest 4-0. They went out to 10 men and we walked through the game comfortably. A brace for Lorenzo Luca and goals for Rios and Han to round things off. The Champions League draw gave us Arsenal, who already disposed of us in the league and Carabao Cup this season, and the first leg ended 1-1. Could we nick the win in the second leg? No, we couldn't. We lost 4-1 on the night, 5-2 in aggregate. So it's just the league to play for now, and we kept on the offensive, beating Palace 1-0. Then against Villa, we went ahead through Maxime Decker, but went down to 10 men when Tino Livramento got his second yellow card on 25 minutes. Back came Villa, scoring twice to go 2-1 up, and things were looking pretty ropey. But back we came, firstly with an equaliser from Benjamin Sesko, then Arda Güler popped up and put us ahead. This was short-lived sadly as Villa equalised, but the drama wasn't over there. Their £47 million man, Benjamin Sesko, scored in the 94th minute with the last kick of the game, securing the 3 points and putting one hand on the Premier League trophy. Liverpool also lost, meaning we are 11 points clear with 4 games left. If we bottle it from here, that would be some achievement. And we could clinch the title with a win against bottom of the table Bournemouth. And then it was Manchester City, and we took the lead from a Benjamin Sesko header that the keeper should have probably done better with. However, it was Sesko at it again though not long after, doubling our lead and halving our nerves. And that's how it ended, 2-0 Southampton, our Premier League champions. The board are happy with the Premier League win. Happy? Happy? Should be fucking ecstatic. From Championship to Champions in 6 years. And the April Manager of the Month was, of course, Ralph. Ralph? And here I am in second. First time Premier League winner. We finished off the season by beating Watford 3-1 and then losing to Arsenal 3-2. We've not done great against Arsenal this season. And with that, the season draws to a close. Premier League champions for the first time in the club's history. Sadly, other silverware still eludes us. Arsenal being the thorn in our side in the Carabao Cup and Champions League. Villa dispatching of us in the FA Cup. The £47 million man, Benjamin Sesko, had the highest average rating in the league. Luka missed out on the Golden Boot once again to, you guessed it, Erling Haaland. Sir Yana took the Players' Young Player of the Year award. Yours truly was Manager of the Year, and rightly so. And with that, the budgets are set, and we have £62 million to spend. Can we retain our title? Can we win a domestic cup? Or can we go all the way and win the Champions League? It's the final season of our Southampton story. Can we finish things off in style.